It's YoBo, liking my life. How you doing today? Honey, let me tell you, I'm about to go on a journey, and I'm inviting you to go on the journey with me, please. For the next 7 days, I just need you to roll with a sister. Come back every day because I'm doing something that has probably never been done before in Black America. Not only am I doing it, I want to show you how to do it because you got a couple days to get started. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. This video is going to be about 10 minutes. I may have to push it to 15 minutes because I got a lot to tell you. Okay, look at this. You see what it says? Juneteenth. Oh, I forgot. You can get my books at YoBoProductions.com and watch these videos on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, look at this. Juneteenth. June 18th, 1865 to June 19th, 2015. Some of you have probably heard about Juneteenth and have no idea what it is. Both of my parents was from the South, so I grew up being familiar with Juneteenth. Both my mother and father are the grandchildren of slaves, former slaves. My mother's paternal grandparents were former slaves, Ruffin and Betty Page Bowie from Jasper, Texas. On my mother's maternal side, she was the great-granddaughter of slaves. My dad was the grandson of former slaves, Allen Nash Wright and Alice Thorne Wright. See, look at my name, Yolanda Wright Bozon. So let's see. My grandparents were the first generation born free on both my mother and father's side. My parents were the second generation born free. I'm the third generation born free. See, we ain't that far from slavery. And even if you white, I want you to listen to this, okay? Don't go anywhere. Okay, let me give you a little history lesson. Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1862. It was supposed to go into effect January 1st, 1863. He was giving the slaveholders a heads up. You know, you're going to have to let them people go. Y'all heard the song, Let My People Go? That's exactly what we're talking about. You got to let them go. Come January the 1st, 1863. There were some slaveholders who decided they wasn't going to let their people go because they paid a lot of money for their people. That was their labor, free labor. They wasn't going to let them go. So they packed up their slaves and their families. They left the South, moved to Texas, because Texas was a quote-unquote free state. Texas hadn't gotten involved in the Civil War. Texas was neutral. I mean, it had never been a slave state, not a free state, excuse me, never been a slave state. So the slaveholders moved to Texas with their enslaved persons. The Emancipation Proclamation went into effect January 1st, 1863. However, the slaves in Texas were not freed. All the way through 1863, they remained in slavery. All through 1864, they remained in slavery. So y'all do the math. I ain't talking about that long ago. It was mid-June when the Union Army had to send General Granger in with 2,000 troops into Galveston, Texas, and had to threaten the slaveholders with imprisonment if they did not release the slaves immediately. That date was June 19th, 1865. And a lot of the slaves that come, they were first, second, third generation Africans. They were uneducated. They were unfamiliar with the English language. But they knew that 1863, that June 19th, 1865, June 19th, they called it Juneteenth. So, you know, my people's the educated people, then they would say the 19th of June. But the original slaves would say Juneteenth. Now you say, YoBo, why are you doing a video with all that junk over there? Honey, child, this ain't junk. YoBo done planned a big old Juneteenth celebration, yes indeed, in Geneva, Texas. Both of my parents are from Geneva. It's a town about that big. So if you're driving up 103, Highway 103 in Texas, or if you're driving up Highway 21, if you missed that turnout, boo, you done missed Geneva. So this is our program. Actually, I'm so excited. See, my sister took a social media class. She said, you have to journal all this. Why don't you journal it in video? So that's why I'm doing this, okay? So it may be about a 15-minute video. I ain't doing this for y'all. I'm doing it because I got to capture it. But check it out. I want you all to plan a Juneteenth celebration this weekend with your family. It ain't got to be big like mine. Just sit down, play this video again. I done told you all the facts. Juneteenth was the day the Texas slaves were free, but it marked the official end of slavery in the whole United States. You know, some of y'all know we wasn't free. You know, technically on paper we were free, but you know, we really wasn't free. But that's another story. I ain't even getting into the struggle. You know, you open up the door, I get it myself. I take whatever you give me, honey. Because I'm going to tell you something. We do what we do better than anybody else. And if the white folks is watching, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Honey, what we do, I ain't talking about singing and dancing and playing sports. What we do it better than anybody else. Give us an opportunity. Shh, don't give us an opportunity, child. We'll go in and take over. I know I will. I've always been the best at whatever I did. Whatever I did. I don't care if I was selling Princess House Crystal. I don't care if I was working at McDonald's. I don't care if I was working at Munger, Tolles & Olson law firm. I have always been the best at what I did. Because that's just us. That's just us as a people. We got to realize our value. We got to realize our worth. See, I told you I was raised by a woman that told me I was the best. Okay, but check it out. I don't want to get sidetracked. But that's the kind of stuff you got to teach your children. Boo, you are the best. You know what? Them people on TV that you see with handcuffs, nobody ever told them they were the best. They told them you was a little beanhead MF that wasn't going to grow up to be SHIT just like your no good daddy. Whatever you tell children, that's what they believe. My mama told us always be the best because you are the best. Anything less than best, you got to tell God that you sorry. You got to apologize because to whom much is given, mama say, much is required. Much has been given to us. One of the things being our freedom. So this Saturday, June 19th, marks 150 years of the end of slavery. Okay, so look, this is our book, and this is the map of Geneva, Texas. Can you see that? Baby, I planned this event. Oh, look at here. I even did a history book that I'm working on now. This is a list of all the former slaves. I researched the families, the names that my daddy told me. Can you see that? I want you to just pause this video and just look at the names and look at the birth dates. All these are former slaves. These are the former slaves who settled in a little town called Geneva, Texas. My mother was the 5th generation born. My daddy was the third or fourth generation born. So they stayed in the community. My parents left after the war. So not only were both of my parents there, but in this whole community, when you got about 50, 60 families, then everybody got to find them a wife or a husband right from that community. Now we have all these families. Honey, we so mixed up. We so tangled up. All of them on here, we just call each other cousin. Because once you start doing the genealogy, let's say if I have 10 kids and then my sister have 10 kids, our kids are first cousins. But then they got to find spouses. They got to find 20 husbands and wives right there from that community. So now we go from 20 kids being first cousins, then all of their children, from whoever the other 20 are, they become kin to 20 more families. Can you see how everybody is related? That's where we are. We're 150 years down the line of people marrying this cousin. I mean, not cousin, but marrying this person. So for instance, I may have a cousin and my cousin may have that same person. One of my cousins, we may be kin to the same person, but just different ways. I don't want to lose y'all. Let me just stop. Let me get back to the book. Okay, so anyway, we're going to remember and honor all these former slaves in our community. Oh, wait. This is a souvenir book, but when I have my copying done, y'all see, YoBo, what's all that junk? Okay, these are all my souvenir books right here. These are my little pouch where I'm keeping all my receipts in here. I have my cash in here. Right here is a big old stack. Registration forms that have come in, honey. We got people here from Sacramento. We got people here from LA already in Houston. You hear what I'm saying? Getting ready for the Juneteenth celebration. When I went to bed last night, we had 164 people registered. People coming from all over. I ain't gonna say nothing about the Negroes is right in town that ain't going. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna act like I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. But you know what? It's for the people that want to be there. Look at here. This registration from Dallas, Texas. Okay, that's somebody who's already up home. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Garland, Texas. Beaumont, Texas. Houston, Texas. San Antonio. Orange, Texas. San Augustine, that's up home. Missouri City, Texas. Hemp Hill, Texas, that's close to Geneva. Bronson, Missouri City, Longview, Texas, Dallas, Houston. What is this one? This is another one. Missouri City, Texas. These are all people that registered. Phone ringing off the hook. With people saying, I want to come and I want to be a part of that. So all we did was just contact people. Just contact people in your family and invite them to come. I'm challenging you to do the same thing. Okay, so all this stuff over here, you may say, YoBo, what's all that junk? It's all my books here. You know, I got to keep my seeds here because we talked about the vision. These are names of some cousins that I need to contact to make sure they're at Juneteenth. Okay, here's the book. When I did my copying, they gave me a color book. That was so nice of them. So now you can see our little map of Geneva, Texas a little bit better. Now you can see the names of the former slaves that we are honoring. These are our cemeteries right in the community. We have 3 cemeteries. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, 3 cemeteries where former slaves are buried. Not too many people in the community anymore, but we actually contribute $25 annually to maintain the cemetery. I want to make sure y'all see this because, honey, we keeps these cemeteries up really nice. This is the County Line Cemetery. That's where my mother's maternal people were buried. The middle one is the New Zion Cemetery. And the last one, the one over here, is the Dennis Cemetery. That one was there when Texas was still a part of Mexico. But these 2 right here, the land was donated for these cemeteries by former slaves. So what I'm telling you is that we got these former slaves who received their freedom, no education, no money, honey child, no nothing. Nothing but the Lord built a life for themselves, acquired land which is still in the family, passed down from generation, divided amongst the kids, even in our family. The land that my mother and her 3 siblings acquired, the 4 of them, after it's been split up this way and that way, we still come out with 45 acres. That's our land that was originally purchased by former slaves. So I just want to share this with you and let you see what's going on. See right here we have our introduction and we explaining about the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Just what I told you already. I told y'all the story about Abraham Lincoln. Then we have our ads that people can place in here to remember and honor their ancestors. You know, looking back at my ancestors, 150 years of freedom, you know, picture of those ancestors. So on and on, just all from the community. Here's another cousin, you know, remembering his people. Well, y'all, I'm gone. I got to share that. Come back tomorrow. But start thinking about planning your Juneteenth celebration, okay? And tomorrow I'm going to let you know what's going on. Honey, it's going down, boo, in Geneva, Texas. See y'all.